how do we have those conversations around mental health with our families? You shared a little bit about what you experienced and not finding out some of the stuff that was going on at home until you were an adult. So how do we have those mental health conversations with our family?
Was that for me or for Kofi?
Oh, sorry. This is for you, EL.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think, well, often with mental health, those conversations, often when people are coming in for the first session, I ask them how comfortable are they having an uncomfortable conversation? Like how comfortable are you to be open and honest about some of the things that you're concerned of for your loved one or maybe your child, or the things, the observations that you've seen? Like there's no way to kind of smudge around these very pressing and concerning things. We're looking at things like depression and anxiety, suicidal ideation. These are things that have to be talked about openly and carefully, but you got to be able to have that conversation. And I think, again, as I mentioned earlier, you have to talk to the things that you've noticed, talk to a lot of their the observations that you've had and the changes that you've seen. These are the signs and symptoms that talk to our mental health or maybe our mental illness. So I think really just to talk to someone and let them know that you're coming from a place of concern and you want to support them is really, really important. And from that, hopefully you can have an open conversation and get their perspective and hopefully have some insight to what they're going through. And then say, well, depending on what you're going through and depending on some of the things you're experiencing, it might be good to go talk to somebody. It might be good to reach out to certain mental health professionals that can help you along this journey of managing these situations a little bit better.
Amazing. I want to throw that same question to Kofi.
Sorry, Nagad, can you just reiterate the question?
Absolutely. So how to have a mental health conversation with our family.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I think what are we talking about specifically, depending on what the subject is or the topic is, can determine how you approach it. I think some form of common ground is important, starting from a place of where there's some common ground. So, and not individualizing the situation. So if we know like an individual has a particular issue or challenge that they're working through, we recognize that we all have different levels and states of mental health, and not, judging someone or putting them in a situation where they feel uncomfortable, but recognizing that there are like experiences and similarities that we might be going through. So I think one of the ways to do that is utilizing right? Speaking from a place of what experience you're having, how you're working through something, and allowing that to try to create a safe space, first of all, in the conversation for other members of the family. And sometimes that can happen with the individual that maybe is a little bit more vocal or look to be as a person that's more vocal, to start a conversation and speak about their own experience and opening up the door for someone else. So that's, again, a level of showing one's vulnerability and being transparent with what they're working through to open up the door for someone else to share. And that, again, still starts from creating a safe space. So I don't know if this happens anymore, but I always advocated for family time, family dinner. Even if you say like it's once a week we get together, game night, and in those times, there are informal situations to connect with family and then to start having certain conversations, right? You can use music. I used to do this with my children all the time, talk about like songs or things that are out right now that can be used as examples to talk about what's happening and its impact on us, right? Drawing those scenarios. Politics, things like that can be used to open doors for communication, but really, what you're working at. You're trying to open up the door to talk about something that's relative to your family specifically, but it can be done informally. I think it's uncomfortable to call a family meeting to talk about mental health. I don't know if that's going to be the way to go, and especially from a cultural perspective. So I think doing it informally, game night, talking about stuff, how's things going, Did you know what this and this, someone did this and this in the media? Like, you can use those examples, Sunday dinner, sit down and come together. Because what I've seen in my time of connecting with families, and even when I was younger, that's what it was. Young people go to their rooms, everybody's in their own rooms, not even just young people. Everybody's in their own room and everybody's looking at a screen and nobody's connected, right? If you're doing that 7 days a week, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not sitting down having dinner, like you're not connecting. We need to pick a time and day that can happen. And in an informal setting, open up doors to conversation.
Establishing some of that routine of, having one night set up with family is a great way to opening up that conversation.